you? Welcome to another episode of a Layfamilyyarn Diaries. So lovely to be back chatting with you. If you've been before, you'll notice you're at a different kitchen table, but nonetheless you're so very welcome. And if you're new, if you've not visited us here before at my kitchen table, again you're so welcome. My name's Kelly. I'm the dyer or part dyer behind Layfamilyyarn, a business I run with my husband Nick. I thought I'd film from the shop today. For no reason. Only I think I've found a way that I'm going to be able to make this work. Certainly with more regularity and on a more sustainable basis for me, which I'm so excited about because I love coming here and chatting with you all. So yeah, I think we'll probably be at this table from here on in, but the same rules apply. Your slippers are still in the corner over there in the basket. You might not want them though today because it's really warm, and I've got the shop door shut, so it's even warmer. You might hear a bit of noise in the background, but that'll just be people walking around and enjoying an ice cream. So yeah, grab yourselves a cuppa. You might not know where the cups are here. They're just over there in the kitchen cupboard. Grab yourself a cuppa, kick your shoes off, curl up, grab some knitting or crochet, a bit of hand embroidery, whatever tickles your fancy, and we'll have a little catch up and a chat. I'll fill you in what's going on and share some of my projects with you. While you do that, I'll just pop a little video of a walk I took this morning with Geoff. We found it's getting really busy down here in Ironbridge, where it has been for some time, which is great because as a tourist town, you need that, don't you? And you know, obviously all the shops on the wharfage of Ironbridge have been closed for a year or more. Pre that we were flooded, so yeah, there's been no business down here for about 18 months, 19 months. So goodness knows these businesses need it. So it's great to see people visiting the area, but with that brings people. And Geoff, bless him, he's not used to it anymore. He's an anxious little dog anyway. But yeah, crowds of people are really bothering him. But we've managed, we have a little secret walk, a little meadow. If you go off the track a bit on our walk, there's a beautiful meadow, and we have to be a bit careful because there are horses that graze in there, but and they're very inquisitive, very inquisitive. I'm sure they're harmful, but it's quite daunting when they come running over the hill to you. Anyway, we went for a walk this morning before it got too hot, and all the buttercups are just, the meadow's just awash with buttercups. It's lovely. So I'll pop that in now and you can have a little look at that, and then we'll come back and talk about some knitting.
We got time on our side. We're in a state of home. I need you on my fire. I want you to know that every time you're away, I long for you so much I can find my way. We got everything here, at least to stay alive, and the time that we share makes it all worthwhile. Got this place on our own. Do you feel that we got something strong? And I saw you walking the line, and the truth may come as a surprise. That with you I feel alive. You'll be the last one I think about.
you all well? Have you been well since we last chatted? It's been a while, hasn't it? We've been really busy here. Busy as always with work, which is fantastic, but also moving the studio. And I think today, which is Wednesday, what day are we today? Let's have a look on my phone. 14th of June. We finally start dyeing up in the new studio today. We had to wait about 6-7 weeks for an electrician and a plumber, which I know in current climate is quite normal. Again, thankfully, they're very busy over the last few months and year or so, which is great. But when you're waiting for one, oh gosh, it feels like forever. But finally, I think we're functional up there now. Yeah, it's still feels like a lot to do. It just feels like there's mess everywhere, but you know, that'll get sorted this week, I'm sure. We've now got Megan, our daughter, working with us full time. This is brilliant. She was working with us while she was furloughed from about January, and then she went back to work maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, and we really realised then that we needed to get some staff. So we were just talking about it over dinner one evening, and how we were going to manage that, and if we knew anybody we could reach out to. And Meg said, well, I'll do it. I really enjoyed working with you and Dad. So yeah, that's brilliant that she wanted to come and join us. She's going back to college in September to study forensic science. So she's only going to be with us full time until September. And then she'll go part-time around her studies, which is great because it gives her that flexibility, doesn't it? You know, she's lucky that she can come down here at 6 in the morning or 7 at night. It really doesn't matter, does it? There's always work to be done. So yeah, I'm really pleased. And because of that, we've each scheduled our days off, and we're going to be able to get in a real routine, which is why I think I'm going to be able to commit more to this. So I'm planning to do it every fortnight, every 2 weeks, and I've sort of planned my projects so that I won't show you everything every time, so I can alternate a little bit, because I don't have a huge amount of time to craft. So I certainly not one of those podcasts that will be prolific with their finished objects and things, but oh, it's lovely to talk to you. I've really missed you. It always feels, people always say it's like a one-way relationship doing this, because I guess you get to know me a little bit with what I share, and yet the person doing the podcast doesn't get to know the person behind the camera, the person watching. But I don't think that's necessarily true, because people are so honest and open in their comments, and then we get to chatting, and I feel like I do know so many of you, which is just lovely. Lovely. Anyway, let's wet me whistle and we'll show you what I've been working on. I'm using my Christmas mug today because we start Advent dyeing. Yeah, I'm just looking around me because all the bits are here, packaging and stickers, and so yeah, it's all full on. Anyway, let's have a chat. Now, this one project I've been meaning to show you for weeks and weeks and weeks. And every time, if you've seen these before, I always say, oh, I'll show you that next time, or it's upstairs, I'll get it next time. Well, today is its day. Now, it's a pair of socks, and I was using the March mini skein bundle for the Rainbow Chronicles, so it was peaches. And I started knitting these in January, which was when we dyed the yarn, and it was over what do you call it? I want to say half term, and I don't mean that. I mean New Year's Eve. It's not half term at all, New Year's Eve. And if you remember, Nick wasn't so well, so I had quite a lot of knitting time because I would just be sat with him, and you know. And I was knitting the Love and Patches sock by Danny George of Little Bobbins. Oh, and it's just magic, pure magic. It's it's a striped sock, as you can see. You have a section that's plain knitting, stockinette, then you have a textured pattern, and then another section of plain stockinette, another texture, and so on and so forth. And each of the textures is different, so it just keeps your interest all the time. And yet in between there's sort of a chunk of time where you can just go round, round, round. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So it is brilliant, and everything else I'm going to say hereafter is my mistake, it's user error. But my gosh, did this blooming knitting attack. So I was whizzing down and I got to here, and that's where I was supposed to start my heel flap. But for me, that was is too long a leg. So I thought, okay, it's no problem, we'll just do an afterthought heel. I've done many afterthought heels. Not my absolute favourite fitting heel, but it's fine. I've done the whirlwind afterthought heel before, and I always do 3 or 4 rounds of plain knitting before I start the decreases, and I find that gives me enough depth. So it's fine. So off I carried onto this stripe here, this peachy one. Lovely. Oh, that really shows nice. But of course I was in my rhythm, so I continued to do said peach on the underside of the foot. Did another plain one, did this little flower stitch one, and again carried on doing it on the underside of the foot. Honestly, what am I like? So that was two stripes there with texture on the bottom of the foot, but I thought, well, it's no problem, it's really not a bother. I'm sure I won't feel that in my sock really. And then the last one there, and then I can't remember the toe that Danny puts in her sock, but I did, some people call it a whirlwind toe, I know Kay calls it an umbrella toe. Jules has a toe up version, which is a beanie toe, but you get the point. It's that sort of decrease all the way around and then just close the loop at the top by pulling through. All well and good. Did my afterthought heel, and I thought I would do the umbrella heel by Kay Jones. I'd heard many people say that it fits really well, and Kay really was pleased with it. And again, it's not dissimilar to the heel I've done before, a whirlwind style heel. But I followed the instructions and I put in the recommended rounds in before the decreases. It's massive. Look, it's huge. It's no, it fits well. I think if you look at the foot, that for my foot was quite short, so having such a big heel, it's about 2 inches, made the heel fit really well. But it just when I fold it up in my box of socks, it looks like a thumb. That bothers me. I know I know it shouldn't bother me, but it does. So I have to tuck it in, look, to make it, and this bothered me so much so that I didn't cast on the second sock for about 4 months, which is ridiculous because it fits fine. I wonder what it's like on a sock blocker. It fits more than fine, it fits well, and it really shouldn't matter what it looks like in my sock drawer, but it yeah, see, even on the sock blocker there's a lot of fabric, you can see, but you know, that is the point, isn't it, that you've got that extra fabric there to accommodate your heel and that depth and that width around your instep. So it does its job. But yeah, I'm a bit precious about my sock drawer. But I found a way to tuck my heel in like so, and then I can fold it up, so I've got over myself. So I thought, right, I'm going to finish this second sock because I love the colours, I love the green I popped in, and I love the pattern, and it fits well. I have to stress, it fits well. So this is ultimately what it's about. So I've cast on the second sock. I've done the same. I think I changed the order in some of the textured strips from what Danny's written. Not intentionally, but because, as I say, this knitting has attacked. So I've done the flower one. What's that one? I think that's just like pearl bumps, I think. I've done the chevron. I've remembered not to do it on the sole of my foot. So that's good. And I've been doing the weaving Stephen technique from Stephen West to weave in my ends. I haven't snipped them yet, but they are all woven in. And that's brilliant. You can just see there where I've woven them in. So you weave them in as you go. Absolutely fantastic tutorial on YouTube, as you would expect from Stephen West, that is. And I'll definitely do that technique again. Really enjoy it. So I just need to snip the ends. So I was doing great guns, and I think I've got 1, 2, 3 patterns, well, blocks to go before my toe. And I was dead chuffed, and my plan was to get this finished last weekend, and I was on track to, and I was just comparing the two. I don't know why. Do you do that with your knitting? Do you sort of put, oh lovely. I think I was looking what colour was next, and then I thought, oh my goodness, one looks huge in width and one looks tiny. Can you see that? I'm sure you can. It's really noticeable. Oh, there you go, look. Do you know, I've only knit 172 stitch and 164. Oh, honestly. So this pair of blooming socks has bit me on the ass so many times. I will finish it. I'm just going to carry on and finish it in 64. I'm not ripping it back. If I only wear them after a shower with clean pyjamas on, just, you know, keep my feet warm. Honestly. I've hand knit, 50, easily 50 pairs of socks, and still I make daft mistakes like this. I was just so in with the first one. I knit this sock in about a day and a half, 2 days. I was just so in the groove. I was like, whiz, 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 12 rows of plain. Really enjoyed the texture. Whiz, 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 12 rows of plain, or whatever. I think it's 12, whatever. And then I did it on the side of the floor. But I love it. I think it's such a pretty sock. I really, really enjoy it. So I'm going to carry on. I'm going to finish that one. And then, as I say, if I only use them with clean slippers on and pyjamas after my shower, they'll be fine, won't they? That knitting certainly attacked though. Oh, let me show you this one. I've got my sock blocker here. I've bought myself some new sock blockers. I've got the bunnies, as you know, as you may have seen before on my podcast, but I love them. I think they're super cute, but I do find I've had them a good few years, but when I put the socks on, I can hear them, the wool snagging, I can hear the yarn pulling on the wood. I've planed them so many times, not planed them, sanded them, and there's this like chunks of wood. So I've bought some of these just metal ones. I think they're a Bryson is the brand. I got them from Loop, London. They're not inexpensive, but you know, they last forever, don't they? So I've finished my Amber Wings socks. I showed you these last time, I think. Oh, I love them. There is 2, but I'm going to hold them together like that because it's tricky. Somebody said they were angel wings, and I think that's lovely. They really are, aren't they? These 2. This yellow yarn, Megan dyed for me for my birthday. Oh gosh, a few years ago now. Maybe 2 or 3. Well, 2, I think 2. And for 2 years I've just looked at it lovingly and petted it occasionally and got it out of the cupboard for some love, but never wanted to use it because it was so special. And Megan was like, for goodness sake, Mum, will you use it, please? So I did, and oh, I love it so much. It's got little speckles of purple and pink and really special. And the minis I used were from Bird Street Yarn. They were in my advent calendar last year. I've spoke about these before, so I won't go on too much, but this is Estonian inlay knitting is the technique. It was a new to me technique, as was the Latvian braid on the top. But I really enjoy that Latvian braid. I've got a new project plan that I'll show you next time, and I'm going to incorporate a Latvian braid on that too. I really like it. So they're my amber wing socks. Oh, that's a pattern by Summer Lee Designs. And there is tutorials for that technique as well. I've seen a few of you making some since. I know, Claire, you've made a pair, haven't you? And yeah, it's a really fun technique. Brilliant technique. So it's magic. The way it's done is absolute magic. What else have we got? Oh, a new sock. Oh, this is on one of my bunny blockers because I was so impatient to take a picture for Instagram because Jules has released the pattern and my new metal ones hadn't arrived. I haven't woven my ends in, that's okay. This is the Foxglove sock by Jules Hill of So Sweet Violet, and the pattern's available on both Ravelry and in Jules's Etsy store if Ravelry is an issue for you or inaccessible for you. And it's yeah, those little things, those little look like the cups of foxgloves, don't they? I was test knitter for Jules's pattern, which is a huge honour, and I've used a mini skein set that I've done a fade on. The pattern isn't a faded pattern, nor is there direction to do it, but if you've done fading before, I'm sure you can figure it out. But I did the heel in one colour, not the heel, the toe in one colour, then I striped with the next colour, and then did a section of the next colour, striped with the third, did a section of the third, and so on, ending with the darkest colour. I haven't cast on the second one yet, but I will. And I'm going to reverse it, so I'm going to do the darkest colour on the toe, ending with the lightest on the cuff, just because I can. It's a lovely pattern. It's 4-row, is it 4? Yeah, it's a 4-row pattern repeat. But once you've done it, maybe once, twice, it's very memorisable. I like that in socks. I think only those little foxgloves are on both sides. I think that's the best kind of sock pattern for me. It's very personal because Megan loves a really involved sock pattern, and she likes lace all over, and she likes to you know, have to focus and concentrate, where I don't so much. I like just to have a bit of interest on one side or both sides in this case, and then just plain stockinette. That suits me, but it's very personal, isn't it? That's the joy with socks as well, isn't it? There is always something for someone, whether you like really intricate lace work, whether you like plain knitting, whether you like double knitting as opposed to sock weight yarn, whether you like colour work, intarsia, Estonian inlay knitting. There's always something, isn't there? There's always something. I don't think you could ever, I could never be bored of knitting socks. I think if I was on a desert island and I could only ever take one thing, it would be sock needles, infinite amount of sock yarn, and then I could always make something, whether that be a blanket or socks, or yeah, I love them. I don't need any more, but I'll always knit them. In fact, I've got a sock knitting machine, so I certainly don't need to knit them, but I just love knitting them. Yeah, that's that one. That's the Foxglove sock by Jules Hill. These are the bunnies I was talking about. I love them, but oh, I don't know. I can just feel them. See, there's a sharp bit there, but you can see the fibres where it just pulls. And when I can hear it pulling on my sock, oh, it makes my skin crawl. But they are cute. What else have we got? Oh, that's another one. Now I'm going to show you this one, but I want you to hold me accountable for this. This is a cowl from Interpretations Volume 7 by Johi Locatelli, and it is the blurry cowl. That one. I'm sure that these patterns are available as individual downloads now. So I got this book when it was first released last year, last autumn. I cast on this cowl, oh, I can't remember when, October maybe, very early November at the latest, for a Christmas present for my mum. That was Christmas last year, I should add, not this. It's a DK cowl. I've chosen Forager and Warm and Toasty, which is just a cream with speckles of sort of oatmeal colour and pink. These are all in our yarn, Layfamilyyarn. Most of my knitting is actually, so if I don't say another maker, another dyer, that's because it's in my yarn. And it should have been, ought to have been, a really quick knit, a really quick, plenty achievable for Christmas last year. I haven't done it. Don't ask me why, because I love it. I've done the textured section at the top. I've done all the stripes. I'm onto the lace work at the bottom. In fact, I've got 10 rows left. 10 rows, and this has been sat in my beautiful bucket from Jilly Makes for 9 months. I mean, that's a row a month. That's ridiculous, isn't it? Absolutely ridiculous. So if I don't show you this finish next time, in a fortnight, I want you to all message below and tell me off. So I'm showing you this to hold me accountable. Honestly do not know why I haven't finished it. And my mum would have loved this. When I was knitting it, it was so, I say so quick. Speed isn't a thing for me. I appreciate the art of slow living and slow stitching, be that knitting, crochet, hand embroidery. Our lives, my life, is so busy and jam-packed and time focused that I really, really appreciate the opportunity just to slow everything down and just take one stitch at a time, and it to be quite mindful and meditative, and just to ground me, just to focus me in the here and now. So when I say it's a nice quick knit, I don't mind that things take forever. Speed is not my goal. I've seen some people at knit groups, and honestly I feel stressed watching them knitting. Their hands are going so fast. I find it really quite stressful to watch. I certainly don't aim to practice that or to improve my speed of knitting. So when I say it was a quick knit, you know, it was a small project. It was a 2 skein DK weight project. In fact, that one's finished with now, and there must be 30-40 grams there. So that's what I mean by quick. And when I was knitting this at the time, I was like, brilliant, I'm going to make one for my mum, which this is for. I then thought, I'll make one for Megan, I'll make one for myself, I'll make a couple for presents. And then I put it away for 9 months. So this is going to go away. I'm going to finish it for next time, and then this will go away for this Christmas. But it's lovely, really, really nice. So if you've got a couple of DK skeins in your stash, or even if you've just got one, you know, if you've got one nice speckled skein, either left over from another project or you just bought it because you loved it, just pair it with a tonal yarn, and you can make something really effective and fab like this. So that's the Blurry Cowl by Johi Locatelli. I'll tell you more about it next time when I finish. What else have we got in this bag? Oh, I must have been using this bag, this bucket, when I had my phase craze on magpie hats. Do you remember? Because I've got all these little bits of mohair or surrey. I think these are all mohair actually. Oh, there's some sock yarn there. But then I've got all these little beautiful bits in here. Oh yeah. There's my hat needles in there. I must have been using this bag, as I say, when I was doing all those magpie hats. Did I make about 5 or 6 in the finish? Might make some more actually. I love that pattern. I love it. Might cast another one on. Because I can use, oh actually no, I'm going to make some of the Simple Pleasures hat by, well, I don't know who by, I'll tell you when I do it, but my friend Cherie from the Ollie and Bella podcast, she's holding a knit along for the Simple Pleasures hat, and you hold 4-ply yarn double for the cuff with the brim of the hat, and you fold it double, and then you drop one of the plies of the sock yarn and you pick up one of the mohair. So on your head, which is the most sensitive part for most people, you don't have any of the mohair there. It's only on the crown of your head. But it looks fab. It's a free pattern. Oh, Pearl Soho, that's who it's by. So yeah, I want to cast that one on. But now I've just seen these partial bits of mohair, I think I will. But not until I've finished this cowl. Honestly, 10 months. That is crazy talk. That in there. The other project I've brought to have a chat to you about is my love note. I can't remember last time if I'd finished the body or not, but again, it's a project I've put away for weeks, so I just wanted to have a chat about why and what's going on. I've knit it in this colourway, which is Pampas Grass. So, it is the Love Note pattern, the bones of the pattern, but instead of doing the lace, I've done some stripes. And that's the only difference. Everything else is the Love Note pattern. Same needle size, same everything. So I finished the body, and I did want it to be slightly cropped so I could wear it over dresses or a longer shirt, that sort of thing. I've never knit or worn anything cropped before. And as a larger lady, you know, you tell yourself that's not your style, you can't wear that as a certain size lady, and you know, you put all these rules upon yourself, and societal rules as well, I think, to some extent. But there's so many people in so many body shapes and sizes with project pages for this jumper, and it truly does work for most people, all people, anybody. So I yeah, I made myself one. Anyway, I finished the body. I love it. I finished the body. I was ready to pick, I haven't done the neckline. The way it's constructed is that's a provisional cast on and then you pick up stitches and do the neckline. Tried it on. Oh, my heart sank. I just didn't like it. Initially I wasn't sure whether it was just because I wasn't used to seeing myself in that style of jumper, that shorter length jumper. But yeah, my heart sank. I was gutted because obviously for my size it's, you know, it's a lot of knitting, there's a lot of work goes into it. I was gutted. So I put it away. I didn't bother with the sleeves. I didn't pick up the neckband because I thought, what's the point if I'm not going to wear it? I was talking to my friend Sharon, SCR1TNO, on YouTube and Instagram, and we were FaceTiming, and I'd got it here in the shop because I think I'd showed it on an Instagram live once for the colour. We'd restocked the colourway. So yeah, I was showing Sharon, and what we determined was that where I'd stopped knitting, it cut me right at my widest point of my tummy, which is the area that I'm most self-conscious of. So it either needed to be a couple of inches longer, so it went below that point, or an inch shorter. And I think as larger women, our instinct is to hide as much as we can, is to cover as much as we can. But Sharon said, just roll it up a little bit. And we have a very, very honest relationship that if I say to her, tell me, you know, she'll tell me the truth and say, mate, no. Or, you know, guide me through. And I truly, truly value that real, honest, genuine friendship. So she said, roll it up. So I rolled it up an inch and it looks so much better. So shorter was better than longer, which, you know, as I say, as a larger weighty, we tend to, our instinct is to hide as much as we can, is to cover as much as we can. But actually, in this case, so I was going to, either way, I need to take back the cuff. It's not the cuff, is it? The hem. And back up the stitches to either take back a little bit or to add length. Either way, that's got to happen. But what Sharon advised was that I pick up the stitches of the neck first, knit the neckband, because as you can see there, it's kind of sitting on my boat neck. Whereas once that's up, and it will hold different, it will wear different, and then I may or may not need to take any back on the body at all. So yeah, I was so pleased that I'd had that chat with my friend, and we'd guided ourselves through that. I just thought it was worth mentioning, isn't it, that if you're out there and you've got self-confidence issues or body consciousness, that's not the right phrase, you know what I mean. If you worry about wearing a certain style of top or garment because you don't think it's going to suit you, I'd say give it a go, but don't necessarily be afraid to go shorter than you think. Obviously I wear it with a longer top underneath, but that's how it's supposed to be worn. That's the style in which it's designed to wear. Again, I'm saying supposed to be worn, like there's rules. There are no rules. If you want to wear it with a bra or no bra, you do you, good on you, I say. But I think from the styling I've seen, most people wear it either over a dress or a longer tunic, vest top, that sort of thing. And that's how I intended to wear it when I started it. So yeah, I am going to plod on with that as well. I'm going to do the neck band, do the sleeves, and then I can then get a true idea of where I go with that length. So yeah, that's my love note. In terms of modifying the pattern, I say instead of doing the lace, I just did, I'm showing you the back, I just did stripes, and I think that's really effective. I really like that. Anyway, that's that. Let's put that back in my bag. another little project I've been working on. I'm going to put these away, so I've got to get on with work after and open the shop up. So if I tidy up as we're going along, I can just open the door and get on with it, because I've locked everyone out. I've been doing some more sewing. I had a kit from Sarah of pretty fabric and trims to make this blue hexagon cushion. Never done this before, but I thought I'd have a go. You know what I'm like, I'll have a good go. Oh, and I've loved it. I did these after I had my second COVID vaccination. I wasn't ill by any means, but I certainly milked it and took a couple of days in bed. And what I did was these little patchworks. I've only done 4. I loved it. These are all in a kit from Sarah. I've still got to sew those ones up there, that one. I loved it, really enjoyed it. And so much so that it set me off on a path to make some project bags. I'm trying to think if I've got, oh no, I haven't got the other bits to show you. But I need to make 9 of these flowers, and then you applique them onto a backing fabric, and then the backing fabrics all become a patchwork cushion. And it was from this that I was inspired to make some project bags for some friends' birthdays. 2 of my very special friends had birthdays just recently, and yeah, so I've been making some project bags. I haven't got them because they've been given as gifts now, but I will pop a little picture in here, and at the end of this vlog, video, podcast, whatever you want to call it, there is it's about 15-20 minutes, and it's just me playing around with fabric, showing you how I made the bags. So yeah, I'll leave that in. It's by no means a tutorial. I'm winging it. I'm truly winging it. But yeah, I thought I'd share them with you because I was really pleased with them. Really pleased with them. I thoroughly enjoyed the process. Which brings me on to an idea I've had. Now I can commit a bit more to doing this regularly. I thought we might have a section just called Have a Go. Have a Go Sunday. Have a go. Just have a go, you know. As adults, we put so many rules upon ourselves to tell us, oh, I can't do that. I don't want to fail. I don't want to waste things. I don't want to waste ingredients or materials. But often if we just have a go, I think we can make some really beautiful things. And how do you feel about having a little gallery, a little show and tell? If you send me an email with a picture, I mean, you could send it me on Instagram, but I get so many messages, I'm frightened things will get lost. But if you send me an email with a picture, I could do a little gallery at the end, you know, a little bit of a, oh gosh, what was that programme back in the day when I was a child and it used to have the art gallery at the end? Yeah, a bit like that. We could just share what we've been working on, something we're proud of, whether it's something you've done before or not really, or whether it's something you've done for the first time. If it's something new you've just had a go at and it worked out, or it was the absolute dog's dinner, but you just had a giggle anyway. Let's share, shall we? Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'd love to do that. Because I feel like I know you guys as well as you're starting to get to know me, and I'd love to see your projects and share those within our group, because we've really got a lovely supportive group here, and the breadth of knowledge, depth of knowledge within this group is, oh my goodness, phenomenal. And we can learn from each other and share ideas, I think. Anyway, I'm waffling now. Where's that out there? Oh, I'm a nosy getting on. What else was I going to tell you? Oh, I was going to talk about Patreon, but I can do that another time. I've got some ideas percolating. I think I'm going to be, well, I am going to start Patreon soonish, soon. But we'll talk about that another time. Anyway, so lovely to be back chatting with you. Thank you as always for your company and for chatting with me. And I'll see you in 2 weeks. I've never said that with confidence before because I know really it's never going to happen, but I think it will. Well, I know it will. So I'll see you in 2 weeks. I'll pop a little video on the end here of us saying making those bags. And yeah, see you soon. Feel free if you wish to subscribe and reserve your seat at the table, but you know, if you don't want to and you just want to pop in occasionally, that's okay too. Anyway, take care, stay safe, lots of love. Hey, I'm going to make a couple of project bags. It's 2 very special friends of mine's birthdays impending, and I want to make some special gifts for them. Both these people are incredibly worthy of handcrafted gifts, although one of my friends is extremely competent sewer, bag maker, quilter. So it feels, I was going to say it feels a little bit intimidating making a gift, a sewn gift for her, because that's not particularly where my skill set lies. But actually I'm not intimidated at all, because I know she will appreciate the time and the effort and the love that's gone into it. She won't look at it with a critiquing eye and pull apart the flaws and imperfections the same as I don't whenever I receive a handcrafted gift. I think as makers and creators and crafting people, we value the time and the effort. And I know for me, it's, what's the word? It's an expression of love, isn't it? And deep meaning that somebody thinks enough of you, of me, to go to that effort. So, and I know that that is the way my friends will receive these gifts too. So I'm just going to make a simple linen drawstring project bag, and I've got some Tilda fabrics to line them with. I bought these in the sale, again not really knowing what they would be used for, but I knew, you know, they'd always come in handy. And then I'm going to embellish them with some little hexagon flowers in Liberty fabrics. Love these. I'm just going to applique that onto the front of the bag and then do a little bit of hand quilting around the edge. I think that would be quite cute. I've been massively inspired lately by many people, but a couple of people in particular. A company called Pretty Fabrics and Trims on Instagram, and that's their website too. Gosh, they have some amazing kits, embroidery kits, and I've treated myself to a few things that I'll show you in time. And then the other person that's hugely inspired me is a lady called Emma from the Vintage Sewing Box, here on YouTube, also on Instagram. I'm sure many of you will be aware of her, but she's such a lovely, gentle lady, and she makes the most amazing things. So yeah, I thought I'd have a go. Again, this is just me having a go. Have I done patchwork before? About, oh gosh, how many years ago? 10 years ago, if not a little more. We went on a crafting holiday. It was a sports and craft hotel, and there I did a 2-hour class in English paper piecing, and that is the sum total of my experience. Never done it since. Enjoyed it, but never done it since. So yeah, this is just me having a go. It's nothing. I think, you know, as adults, children don't put those same boundaries on themselves, do they? And as we get older, unless we have adults that influence us negatively, but as a child, But as we get older, we tell ourselves we can't do something, or we strive for the perfection, or we have a fear of failure, or, which is daft, isn't it? Because children don't have those constraints. They don't have that fear of just having a go. So I think we all need to channel that a little bit more. So yeah, just me having a go. So I've done this flower already, but I've got one more to make, so I thought we could do that together, and then we'll construct a couple of bags, and then I can get them in the post to my friends.
Alive. You will be the last one I think about. The last one I think about. We got time on our side. We're in a state of hope. I need you on my fire. I want you to know that every time you're away, I long for you so much I can find my way. We got everything here, at least to stay alive.
So I've cut out some fabric. I've based it on, Megan made me this bag. Oh, excuse me, one sec. Megan made me this bag some years ago. I think it was the first time she independently made something like this, and she followed a YouTube tutorial by Erica Ardner? I don't know how you say her surname, apologies. Yeah, she used an old pillowcase for the white, and then some fat quarters. I just love it. I use it all the time. And then these duck pins she bought me as well for Christmas, I think. So I've fashioned the sizing of my bag from this. I don't know the exact dimensions. I didn't measure them. I literally kind of put this grey linen against and added a bit on for seam allowance. Not very scientific, but there we go. So little of what I do is. And I'm just going to now hand applique my fabric, my hexagon flower onto the fabric. I've done that by eye. I haven't measured it, I'm not going to lie. I've just kind of done it by eye. I'm not sure if I'm going to do box bottom corners. So I've not put the flower central. I've done it in the sort of upper half, so that if I do the box bottom corners, then it allows room for that. So yeah, I'm just going to applique that now. I've also cut out some teeny tiny little triangles using the Liberty fabric, some of the little leftover pieces. And I might put some bunting on the back. That's my plan. And the lining fabric, I went with the green. really zingy, isn't it? And I'm thinking what I might do is not do a band as such. Yeah, I'm doing it different to this one in that I'm not going to have a band along the top there of the lining fabric like this one, because I want the hexagon to be the focus. And I think if there was a band of green for the drawstring there, I don't know, I'm not sure, but what I might do is line the bag in a different technique. Ooh, that's the patio door closed, sorry. Line the door, honestly. Line the bag using a different technique, but just leave the teeniest hint of green at the top. But we'll see, we're way off that stage yet, aren't we? So I'm going to do the applique, have a look at whether I want the bunting on the back border, and yeah, stitch the bag up. I'm not going to do any way, form, shape or indication of a tutorial. There's so many amazing tutorials on YouTube as how to make a bag, and they've got far more skill, equipment, knowledge than I have. So yeah, this is just, as I say, just me having a go. Yeah, I'll show you what I'd go up to. Here we go. So I've just finished appliquing the hexagon on, and then I've just done some running stitch around the outside. I've just done that by eye. I haven't measured it or anything like that. It's really quite cute. I did like a ladder stitch to applique my hexagons to the fabric, and I've used hexiform, the little foam sponges, instead of paper, and you leave those in. But I've pulled my ladder stitch slightly tighter, so it gives this almost raised effect. Can you see that the flower looks quite raised, and it certainly feels that you can really feel how it's raised up. I really think it's nice. So that's that. And on the back, I decided to do the bunting. And then again, I've just done some very simple running stitch and a couple of French knots at the end. Never done French knots before, but I just did a YouTube search, and yeah, super easy. So that's good. So I'm going to sew those together now. Right sides together, and then do the same with my lining and construct my bag. Taken me nearly all day on and off. I mean, I've taken Geoff out in between and started, you know, done a few chores and things, but yeah, it's taken me most of the day to do 2 bags, but that's okay. I've had a lovely time. I'm just pinning the pieces together, right sides together, and then I'm going to sew all the way around the 2 sides and the bottom. Don't sew the top. Like so. And then I'll do the same with the lining, and then slot that in. I finished. It's time to give you a ta-da moment. I'm so pleased with these bags. Honestly, I'm so chuffed. Megan did the top stitching on the one bag for me, and I did it on the second, and you know, you can clearly tell, but I'm really not going to focus on that because I'm just so chuffed. I've got some ribbon that I'm going, oh, that's not the right colour, but that doesn't really matter. I'm going to use these ribbons for the handles. That's the only part left to do, but my what do you call them? Safety pins. They're at work, so I'll have to do that tomorrow at work. So here's the one, and then on the back is the bunting. I decided not to do the box bottom because I just really like them like that. That's the lining inside. I just love them. The drawstring casing is here, so that's where the ribbon will come out there. I'll take a picture and show you them with the ribbons in. I'm so chuffed. And this is the second one. This is the one with the French knots on the back. There's a little bit loose thread there, look. And that's the front one. That's where you can just see that little bit of pucker in there, where I did the top stitch and not Megan. But again, the person who's going to receive this, I don't think he's going to care one jot. And that's it. I'm so chuffed. Genuinely so chuffed. So many new things in there for me. English paper piecing, using the hexiforms, doing this little bit of embroidery around there and on the back, and the French knots, constructing this type of bag. I have made a little bag before, but not this style of bag, so that's new. Designing the concept, even how I wanted it to look with the hexagon flower on and the placement, even the size. That's all new to me. I haven't followed a pattern for this in terms of dimensions or anything like that. It's just something I've done myself. I'm so chuffed with it, honestly. And then when you want to knit your little sock, see, I didn't put interfacing in this bag, and that was a purposeful decision. I do have some, but I just wanted it to be, you know, that you could just chuck in your handbag, in your picnic basket, you know, and it just squished down. I'm really chuffed with that. Really chuffed. And I hope my two friends will be too. Got to get one in the post tomorrow, and I shall be seeing my other friend on Saturday, so I shall give her one too. I'm so chuffed, honestly. Just have a go. I can't stress enough how strongly I feel about just have a go. Have a go, you know, a few little bits of fabric, an old linen pair of trousers if you don't have any linen, and you've got these beautiful things. So the recipients of my two bags were my gorgeous, gorgeous Jules of So Sweet Violet, and the beautiful Sharon from SCR1TNO. Two amazing ladies who just build me up and fill my heart with joy.